Okay, let's get into audience questions this week, and there are some good ones. Many of you probably saw the letter published in Harper's Magazine, signed by more than 150 people criticizing call out culture and cancel culture as it has become known to many. And I got a bunch of questions essentially saying, can we cancel or ban cancel culture? Maybe by making political beliefs a protected class, much like nationality or religion, etc. I mean, listen, I think that that's very, very dangerous to do. And there's a couple different reasons why. If you look at religious beliefs being considered a protected class, that's already problematic. Now, I understand the basis for, if you need to establish in all aspects of the law non-discrimination on the basis of religion or lack of religion, then it follows that you probably have to include religious beliefs as a protected class. But understand that religious beliefs are self-professed. In other words, they're not immutable. Saying that you can't discriminate on the basis of race or national origin as examples, or disability, one has no control over those characteristics, whereas you very much have control over your religious beliefs. And of course, there's the reality that, people are born into religion in many ways, but it is different. But the point is to add something like political belief as a protected class would create absolute and complete chaos. White supremacy as a value set would be protected. Business can't fire someone or say they won't serve a customer who comes in wearing a KKK hood because those are political beliefs. And if you make political beliefs protected under the law, all of a sudden you are forced to do business with individuals in these categories. And the reality is that it's BS in the sense that it runs directly counter to everything that Republicans claim to want. It runs directly counter to the idea of small government. Wait a second. You think, many of them think, that non-discrimination laws are already too strict, but they want to add political beliefs to that list? Many of them believe that businesses are already over-regulated. You want to add another element where businesses are not free to decide how they're going to operate their businesses? It is a disastrous idea. And at its core, I mean, listen, we can have a reasonable debate, and I'm glad to engage in it, about what are productive and unproductive examples of boycotting or calling for boycotts. That's a great conversation to have. And there's no one answer to it. And sometimes a boycott or a call for a cancellation makes sense, and sometimes it doesn't. Let's figure that out. But the people who are talking about ban the epidemic of cancel culture, they don't like that speech has consequences and that there are new tools for people to voice their displeasure, like, for example, social media. There's really no way to end cancel culture without curtailing speech rights. Something being a right, the right to speak, doesn't mean that it must be free of ramifications. And the consequences to speech are speech in and of themselves. So no, political ideology should not be a protected class. In fact, it might make the problem worse. Imagine an employee says something absolutely insane and horrifying, and a company can't fire them because it's their legally protected political belief. Now the company has to keep an employee on who regularly makes anti-Semitic or racist comments. They can't fire them because those are merely political beliefs. This is literally the free market we're talking about here, right? Businesses are driven by customer wants and desires. If one customer says, I don't want to do business with you if you have a white supremacist, maybe you ignore it. If you have a white supremacist working for you. If 100,000 people say it, then maybe you evaluate that in the market and decide, I'd better get rid of this employee. Of course, assuming that there's not a contract that keeps the employee in place, or if it does, you have to look at whether the contract has any kind of clause in it about unbecoming behavior, right? We have a system for this stuff, and simply saying political beliefs are protected as if they were race or national origin or disability, not a good idea, and I would be against it.